Hey guys, Sawyer here. I know it's been a very long time since I've posted on this channel. And I've just, you know how it is. You just kind of fade away from it after a while, especially if you're not getting a whole lot of feedback and stuff. But I don't know. I wanted to come back to it, especially now. I just finished watching Spider-Man: Far From Home last night, and I enjoyed it. There were some things I didn't like about it. Overall, I think I did enjoy it. I do want to talk about it though, because it is the newest Marvel movie. And it is kind of following a lot of other big Marvel stuff, like in-game stuff I didn't cover on my channel. But yeah, first of all, the comedy, it's I liked it to a certain extent, and that is Marvel's trade point, and that is the MCU's kind of trade point at this moment is just overabundance of comedy. Sometimes they just kind of hammer it way too far into the coffin, but sometimes it works. In this movie, I think for the most part it worked. There were a few like gags I didn't really care for. I didn't like. Mostly stuff with like Flash. I hate Flash the way the character is set up in this movie. I just don't like him. I just have the classic blonde bully big jock character way stuck in my head way too much to really appreciate that character the way he is now. Also, MJ is a little weird. I don't really care for her character super a lot. I do like her in this movie a lot more than she was in the first movie. She does have a lot more to do in this movie, but yeah, overall I did like that. And I am going to spoil the movie, obviously, because this is a review, and I don't really like to do spoiler-free reviews because I feel like you can't really talk about the movie, especially certain movies. You just can barely say anything about them. So this is going to be spoilers, right from now on. Be warned. So anyway, with that out of the way, the movie opens up with a very interesting. It opens up in a very interesting way. Basically, you get this like, I forget the name of the song, but it's like a really classic, slow, kind of romantic song, like kind of, heartwarming song. I forget what it's called. Anyway, it starts that song plays, and you're like it automatically just throws the whole tension or the feel of the movie off. You're like, wait, what? This isn't a Marvel movie. What's going on? And then we see that it's actually a memorial video in honor of Tony and Captain America and Black Widow and all the other Avengers that died in the events of Endgame. And then we see that it's being made by Peter's high school, and you have these two students sitting on the camera and they're talking about it in the form of like a high school news presentation thing. Anybody that's been in school, you had that you had the local schools news. But I thought that was kind of a cool touch. I thought it was cool because it kind of catches us up real quick with everything that went on. It explains some of the exposition regarding the blip, as they call it, the snapping for us fans, that's what we call it, and what happened. A lot of things that people thought were theorizing are actually are confirmed, such as the fact that a lot of the students have to repeat school because they missed 5 years of it because they just popped up, and also relationships and stuff are kind of weird now because you got some kids that they grew naturally, and then their girlfriend came back, and the girlfriend's like 5 years younger, so now it's like kind of statutory rape. It's just crazy stuff like that you had to put in consideration. And I do like that they actually kind of confirm that in the video, and it just throws a bunch of exposition, but they do it in a fun way, not like another scene later in the movie where they throw you a bunch of exposition in a very jarring way. You know what scene I'm talking about. But this scene was good. I liked it. It also gave us some comedy. And then it also was just a nice touch to see it in a high school film kind of way, because it is a high school film after all. It is a kind of coming of age story. So after that, we basically get we just kind of jump straight into the fact that Spider-Man is leaving. America is going to Europe. On this field trip. And one thing I didn't like was that there's a scene that's in the trailer from the movie. It looks an awesome scene. Nowhere to be found in this movie. And I know that Marvel does that a lot. They make these scenes and they do them for the trailer, but usually they're just cool little quick shots. They're usually not anything major. This looked like a major fight scene, not major, but it looked like a full-fledged fight scene that I was thinking was going to be at the beginning of the movie, and it never happens. It would have happened at the beginning of the movie. That's where it would have fit in the story, but it never happens. I was kind of disappointed by that. But in that regard, that's not a big deal. But that was something that I was kind of annoyed by, because it's like, I wanted to see the spider suit, and I wanted to see the tentacles, or not tentacles, the the legs or whatever, stopping knives. That was a cool fight scene. You know what I'm talking about. So after all that, we basically go straight into the European stuff. We also see Mysterio for the first time. He basically saves Nick Fury and all that. And Mysterio I like Mysterio. I really do. I wasn't sure how I was gonna respond to the way they would do Mysterio. Jake Gyllenhaal is pretty good. I do find that some of his performances feel a little cheesy, a little over the top. But that all goes with his character because, as I'm sure everybody knows by now, Mysterio is a fake. He's a fraud. He's an actor. As Trevor would say, he's an actor. So the idea that he actually is just kind of trying to play Peter and everybody else, I like that because it shows that like he's acting. So of course he's kind of being a drama queen a little bit. He's being a little over the top because that's in his mind that's what superheroes would probably be like. I do like that. I do like the idea that he has a whole group of people, not just himself, but he has a whole group of people that are helping them do this whole frenage. They all have specialties. He's got the one guy who's behind the computer basically making the illusions. He's got another guy that's like the writer that's writing the script for his dialogue and for his backstory about being from a multiple universe and stuff, which is cool because I like how in the trailer they tried to sell that real hard, and people were thinking that maybe they would combine that element, and I'm sure they will they'll probably introduce a multiverse at some point, but I thought it was cool that in the first Marvel movie after Endgame, they introduced it as a joke, as a finale or as a fake thing, which I thought was cool. That was a really interesting way to do it. So, and all the people that Mysterio is as part of Mysterio's crew are all former what do they call it? Former Tony Stark employees that are all mad at Tony Stark for some reason because he got him fired or he didn't treat them right or whatnot. And of course, Jake Gyllenhaal is the main leader of them because Jake Gyllenhaal created this amazing tech for Tony, and Tony just kind of disregarded it, used it as basically like a personal therapy thing when Jake Gyllenhaal had a greater imagery for it. And I like that backstory. I kind of wish they would have kept the idea that he was a special effects guy in like a movie studio, but I do like the idea that they tie it into the Marvel universe, and it gives him more logical reason for how he would have access to the resources he has. So I did appreciate it, even though I do like the original backstory more. And in terms of the fight scenes, there's some good fight scenes. There's not really a lot of fight scenes, but there is a lot of action scenes. There is a difference between those two. And there was plenty of action scenes. There's plenty of scenes of Spider-Man like kind of throwing stuff or trying to dodge the elementals, which that all looks cool. That's all visually awesome. I even love how they even have some references like whenever the water one, which they try to make you think is Hydra Man. They even I think Flash is reading like a news article online that says something about the guy who fell into a vat of chemicals or something and became Hydra Man. Like they basically name drop Hydra Man's real name. I thought that was a cool touch to try to help sell the idea that these are the actual characters, and then they try to sell you on the idea that they're elementals, and then eventually we just know that that's all fake. But that was really cool. Probably the main fight scene in the movie, the main fight scene in the movie, even though it's really not a fight scene either, where Mysterio is fighting Spider-Man. He's using all the different illusions, and Spider-Man's kind of just trying to hit him, but he keeps hitting his hand on walls and not knowing where he's going. That was cool. I really enjoyed that. It was kind of like something straight out of like a 70s Steve Ditko book. Like you even had the classic thing where Mysterio's giant size and he's like just trying to smash Spider-Man with his hands, and the circus and all this cool imagery that just kind of comes out of nowhere. The movie is definitely it feels like Inception in certain parts because there's just so many twists and turns. You, as an audience, you have a hard time figuring out what's real or not. I consider myself pretty good with that kind of stuff because I've seen so many movies over the years. I feel like I can usually call it when they're trying to surprise you. But there were a few of them that I was like, okay, I didn't see this coming. I didn't realize that we were in a dream right now. Or I didn't realize we were in an illusion right now. So it's always good when they can. It kind of sounds weird, but I use myself as the gold standard. If you can surprise me with stuff like that, then I feel like you can surprise a lot of people, like a lot of general audience people with stuff like that. So it was good. After that fight scene, you have kind of the climax in the movie with all the drones or whatever. And I didn't really like that scene all that much. The idea that Mysterio is in reality is just this guy who's got a helmet on and he's just sending a bunch of robots. It makes sense, but I just didn't like it that much. It kind of felt a little anticlimactic. I know that it's not really about the fight scenes in this movie. It's more about the, learning how to. This is more like the outsmart movie. This is more, where the first movie felt like it was more of a The first movie felt like it was more about the action, more about the the battles. This one felt like it was more about Peter trying to grow as a person and realizing that maybe he can't always win with his powers or he can't always win with his strength. So I did like the idea. I like the concepts. I like the themes, but overall, I was kind of disappointed with the climax of the movie. The end credit, that was pretty cool. It's kind of pretty much straight out of Civil War. That actually happens in the Civil War story. Seeing Joe Jonah Jameson again, played by J.K. Simmons again, was awesome because I'm a big fan of that man. I thought he was the perfect Joe Jonah Jameson, and I'm glad they could actually bring him back into the Marvel universe or into the Spider-Man movies. That was really cool. His hair has changed because he doesn't have a full head of hair anymore, I guess, because he had like the bald with the gray sides, and I didn't really like that as much, but just hearing his voice and seeing that giant, amazing mustache was perfect. So overall, I liked this movie. I thought it was pretty good. Again, I didn't think it was the best thing in the world. Definitely not my favorite Marvel movie. I think I do like it more than Homecoming. It's kind of hard to say because both movies actually have really good villains. I think that they've actually hit the villain mark really good with the two Spider-Man movies, which is hard to do for Marvel for some reason. So I think, like Vulture was really good. I do still think Vulture is a better villain, but Mysterio was really well done too. They actually do kill Mysterio at the end, so that's kind of like, Marvel has kind of a tendency that when they do make a good villain, they kill them off in the same movie, which is, it's whatever. But I did enjoy this movie. Like, I will say there were some kind of weird pacing issues at some parts. There are some moments of exposition that were really jarring, especially the whole bar scene. That was hard to watch. It was, but it was kind of funny at some parts. And overall, I'd probably give it like a 6 or 7 out of 10. I did enjoy it. Not my favorite Marvel movie again. Not my favorite Spider-Man movie probably, but still very fun, very enjoyable. Lots of humor, so yeah, go watch it, guys. Or if you have seen it, and you probably should have seen it if you're watching this far in the video. Let me know what you liked about the movie. Let me know if you agree with anything I said, or if you don't agree with anything I said. And thank you guys for watching, and just keep up with me, man. Thanks.